In this video we can focus on the design side of what our tropical fish hatchery has become. So we've turned it into a recreational space to replenish the mind, body and soul. It's got jiu-jitsu mats, it's got 4 beautiful tanks, it's got a beautiful pool table to work on that hand-eye coordination. Each one of the tanks are vented, so we suck the air out of it into a separate refugium room where we are growing cuttings to propagate plants. Each one of the tanks have a really different look from each other. We're focused on predominant species being the major planting of each tank, and they all differ from each other, so that long term the constant repropagation of that tank will naturally occur. One of them is the electric yellow and the large predators. The other one is the red empress, the Tropheus murray and the electric whites. The other tank is obviously focusing on the frontosas with the cuckoo catfish and the red zebras. Above that, in each one of the tanks we've got spots of color of various Elonicara, haps and Mabuna. I've always gone with the approach of mass plantings, so when you're doing a tank design, one main species will have a lot of them, and then you'll have a lot of drips and drabs of the other species filling in the color. But when you look at the tank, you see that main focal point of the electric yellows or the electric white or the frontosas, and that's what catches your eye. And then you're like, oh, look at that beautiful red and blue fish, that's amazing. So that works really well. All of the tanks are filtered with really large industrial size filtration mechanisms, always using porous filter foam. The tanks and the room itself is all heated by the LED lighting that is situated underneath the tanks. We're using that space to grow plants so that we can produce seedlings at a much earlier rate, considering outdoor environment is not really conducive to getting that right. We're quite far behind the piece, as well as growing indoor herbs and spices and eggplant and basil and chilies and jalapenos through wintertime. So I think it's a really good way to offset the running the sanctuary space to the cost of what it is. We've also used that space to start to propagate all the seedlings that is part of our next adventure, which is growing plants that will help people improve their gut bacteria, ensuring that the plants that they eat and that they consume are covered in the beneficial bacteria that will help propagate that natural bioflora. You imagine in the old days when you'd be hunting or trekking through the bush, you'd be constantly eating and foraging, and you'd be taking in good gut bacteria, so constantly replenishment of that. And that's something that we see as a way to heal the world, heal the planet, and produce the best possible results for a person's health. Hope you enjoyed.